Like him or hate him, CZ has done a lot for crypto, and BNB is a reflection of that confidence. Even though Richard Tang is the new CEO, honestly, CZ has way more sway than Richard Tang, in my opinion. But this coin, the darling of Binance, BNB, is this actually going to go to some crazy high levels? And why would it? We're going to talk about all of that in this video. But before I do, like it, leave a comment with what you've learned. So that means you have to write down what you're learning as you watch this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. So first off, the main thing I want to do is let you know that BNB, any of these other videos that I've done, BNB, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, Sui, these are all just my speculative ideas and information I'm sharing with you freely. This is not financial advice, yada, yada. You get the idea. Now, what we need to do first is you need to understand a couple of things. For starters, why did BNB pump 700% in 21 days? It says 14, but it's really 3 weeks. Why? Seasonality. BNB went absolutely crazy in February because BNB decided to make a change. Before this point, BNB was just an exchange coin, and there are many exchange coins. There's OKB, there's KCS, you get the idea. So what do these exchange coins do? Well, before this major shift for BNB, exchange coins just gave you a deeper discount on trading. So it's like, okay, I hold the coin, and because I hold the coin, I don't have to pay as much in fees for trading. Cool. But there really wasn't a lot of utility until over here. BNB made a huge improvement to its protocol and basically had BNB chain. It also had basically a DEX, a decentralized exchange, so that way people could trade meme coins, they could trade coins at whatever they want. Like basically this marketplace was incredible. And it was so incredible, everyone loved it so much that BNB pumped massively because of a huge shift in its use case. That's really why. Now, this huge shift in its use case happened at a very specific moment in time. Looking at 2020, Bitcoin started to go parabolic over here in October, and it wasn't until 2021 that alts actually took off. And even so, it took 4 weeks for BNB to actually pump up, but everything went crazy during this period. Seasonality matters. It matters a whole lot. Now let's fast forward to today. There have been moments where BNB has rallied because of good news, right? When the Bitcoin spot ETF was teased, we saw BNB make a recovery rally just like everything else. And it moved up 200% from October 2023 to about June 2024. And of course, now it's up even higher. But the real question is, can it do the same parabolic move? Well, the easy answer is no, probably not, unless they're going to use BNB to advance like quantum computing or make BNB quantum resistant or something like that. I don't even know what they could possibly do, or AI, I don't know. But this is such a unique moment in time and such a unique use case that was extremely effective at driving the price of BNB up from $40 all the way up to $600. And now here we are at 1,000. So yes, while this price action right here, let me draw it differently. This price action right here and right here look extremely similar. We don't really have any catalysts per se that would give BNB a reason to pump. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, the next thing I want to look at is price projections. And I think this is where a lot of you are interested in. I mean, why $2,000? Well, it's a nice round number. It would be a good increase from our current price if BNB were to just magically pump up here to $2,000, which is a 70% return, which is pretty good. But is it realistic? Well, maybe, but maybe not. Like we need to look at a couple of things. So for starters, we're going to just draw all of these from the get-go. We're going to go over here to our fibs. And here in our fibs, okay, good. I was just looking at something. I was like, oh no, did it freeze? Okay, good. No, we're good. What we're going to do, what I love to do with this is when we're using our fibs, we find our top to the drop. Now, I realize this is not how some of you do it. That's okay. It's how I do it. It has worked extremely well to plot this level and to plot this level. Okay. Now it blew through here. We're not going to worry about that, but it gave us a good target. I'm also going to do the same thing with this right here to see if we get any other levels that correlate or correspond. No, they don't. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete this because I've already done it back over here. And this is called a fib extension. So instead of looking at all of the 0.236, 0.5, 0.7, sorry, 618, 786, all that stuff. We're just superseding it to the 1, 272, 1618, 2, 272, 618, etc. Why? This is something that I teach at thebettertraders.com, specifically in our course, The Smarter Trader. I'm not going to get into the reasons why I do this, but you'll see why it's really effective. So for starters, when we see charts go parabolic that are relatively new, which at the time BNB was, right? The exchange launched in November 2017, had an all-time high back in January 2018, all-time low in December 2018. So our top to our drop gives us a really good projection of prices. Now we can see the price of BNB actually respecting a lot of these levels. We can see it respecting the 272 as support. We can see it respecting the 2618 as resistance. Even though it goes above, it's fine. I'm not worried about that. But you can see the price clearly establishing support here. And we've seen it blow through $940. So where does $2,000 come into play? Well, if I continue to draw this out and I do a 3618, which is very uncommon, the next real significant level is 1538 and then 2878, which is a real big increase. So 1538 is only 28%. And if we think 146% to $3,000, that seems incredible. That's the best way to express it. Yes, it is incredible. Okay, good. I'm just doubling it down there. There we go. All right. So now I want to look at more recent fibs. So the reason why I do this, and I like to layer multiple fibs, again, it's taught in the course, but it's basically to find levels that agree or levels that overlap that could give us some sort of inclination or idea that there might be a strong support or resistance level. And because we're focusing on these 1.272, this is an extension. It's going a lot higher than the original all-time high. So it's giving us a good target. So the next target is actually 1571. I usually don't use the 2, but if we do, it's up here at 2609. If we layer both of these guys together, we actually get a couple of really interesting observations. For starters, this $948 to $990 range was decent resistance. It popped right through it, but you can see it struggled a little bit. The next significant layer or level of resistance is 1588 or so, 1550, 1570 or so. And then we get up to $2,600. So this $2,000 target, while it sounds attractive and it's easy to remember because it's a round number, I think it's actually better to pay attention first to 1530 or so. And then if things were to get out of control, which they could, depending, but now we're looking at a coin that's above $1,000. It's moving and it's mooning. It could go up here, 150% or so. Personally, going above this level of 26 or 28 is very unrealistic. I also strongly believe that Bitcoin is going to be topping out about here, which means that alts will top out about here. So if we think just about time and how long it takes for price action to get this far, I need to find my, nope. Here it is, bars pattern. So let's just take this move from here to here, okay? If we were just to superimpose this move to see how long it takes just to get up to even $2,000, and we'll just say it's like this, right? This move took a long time from the recovery in June to where we are now. Just to get up here to 1538, it's going to, and again, assuming it's going to do the same exact thing, it's going to take another 11 weeks or so to reach this target of 1538. I mean, I guess if we'll be aggressive, we could say maybe it could be hit in 5 to 6 weeks, 5 to 8 weeks. But the point being that I do strongly believe Bitcoin will top out in mid-November. I do think that alts will follow. And after that, we'll be entering a bear market. Happy to be wrong. I say it in every video, and I really am happy to be wrong with this because I'd much rather see things go higher because the market's going to be happier. And I know that Trump has also talked about doing the stimulus check idea. Again, I don't agree with that idea from him. But the reality is that the market can do whatever it's going to do. And the reason why I like using fibs like this is to give me a good sense of where markets are headed and how high things could possibly go. Now, there are two things I need to share with you as well. For starters, we need to be watching TBT divergence. TBT divergence is a pro-tier indicator that has worked extremely well to let us know when there are basically pivot highs and pivot lows. Pivot high, pivot low. Even though we had the COVID dump, pivot high up here. We had our yellow flags right here letting us know. I mean, that's caution. perfect, literally perfect entry here in October, pivot high, and of course it's going up higher. We haven't had any of these yet. That should be considered to be a good thing that we should see BNB go up higher. But the moment we start to see one of these red flags, I'm going to be letting you know. The second thing to watch, in my opinion, or actually it's two things, but we're going to first look at RSI. You have to understand that once weekly RSI gets above 90, this is a seriously overbought level, extremely crazy, fervent, like frothy. Okay. When we see BNB's weekly RSI getting up to 90, and I use RSI with a length of 7, by the way, this is where we start to go, okay, pump the brakes. We're probably near a market top. Why would I say that? Well, because basically every other time we've gotten close to this 90 level, or we're basically near a market top. Does it go up a lot higher? It does. Does it go up a lot higher when it hits 90 right here? A little bit higher, not that much higher, not like 100% higher like before, but it does. But it's clearly getting closer to the next frothy moment where RSI is above 90. Keep that in mind. The other thing to watch is volume. Volume is a huge indication of the votes or the sway or the persuasion of the market. So if we're seeing a massive increase in volume, then there's a sustained rally. But one thing that's really clear here on the BNB USDT chart on Binance, and this is their own coin, this is their chart that has the most volume. Look at the difference back over here. Look at the extreme show of volume. Crazy. And then, of course, we've seen other moments, like back over here in March 2024, there's a huge spike in volume, which marked the top of that cycle, really, or like not that cycle, but that rally. And if we zoom ahead over here, we have December of another peak in volume. But one thing that's super clear to me, and it should be to you as well, the peaks just keep getting smaller. Have you noticed that? You should, if not. So this is where things get a little bit like, ooh, pump the brakes. While we could see BNB's volume get really frothy again, I don't see a reason for it to increase by 700%, but it could. But when we get a week with just incredible volume that just destroys this moving average here, this is the TBT based to quote currency converter. It's a free indicator. You can find it on TradingView. Just search for this. But when we see a huge pump in volume, that will most likely mark the top. And we are seeing similar buildup right now, just like back over here, and now we're starting it up again. So I am of the belief that BNB, while it does look amazing, I do think that we are going to be reaching that point where we're going to be topping out sometime soon. And what I don't think a lot of people are really comfortable with is this idea that let's even say that it goes up here to 15 and it tops out there. Most people aren't comfortable with the idea of a bear market where prices fall down, 80 to 90%. If we were to see, or just to measure this previous one, I have to clean this up because it's really messy now. But just as a reality check, we saw BNB fall 73%. So let's be a little bit more generous and we'll say just 70%. But that means BNB falling down to like $450, which from the current price is 62%. So if it goes up a little bit higher to like 2,500 or so, falling down 70%, it's very generous, to be honest, to fall down to the previous all-time high like that. Maybe it'll happen, but the reality is that a bear market's going to come. Whether you want it to or not, you can't just wish it or will it away. It's going to come. So the important thing is that while these are good targets to consider taking some profit, there's a chance that it might just go up higher. There's a chance that it might not hit any of these at all. You have to learn how to take profit as the price goes up. And this is what we teach you in our courses at the Better Traders. This is why I talk about it all the time, okay? But the main thing is that, yes, we can use fib extensions to find these targets, but we need to keep an eye on RSI, we need to keep an eye on volume, and we need to keep an eye on these fib levels. If we start to see a lot of these flags start to come up to take profit, don't hesitate. I'm going to say it again. Do not hesitate. When we start to get really frothy, everyone's getting really excited, you will quickly abandon your trading plan like it's an old pair of gym shorts, okay? You need to stick to your trading plan no matter what. And if you're not sure, you're feeling like, I think it could go up higher, guess what? Don't sell the whole position. Just take a little bit of profit. That's what I do. It works extremely well because you don't know if a chart could really be the next runner. But BNB really already had its time in the sun. It's doing well. It's great. I don't think it's going to be the next runner. I don't see any real catalyst for it to go up a lot higher, but it doesn't mean that it can't do it as well. This is why it's important to take some profit on the way up, but you don't have to take all your profits out. But don't forget, if I'm right, and next year is a bottom year, and we see a market-wide bear market for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, BNB will fall as well. So protect your portfolio at all costs. Protect your profits. Do everything you possibly can. So that way you walk away from this bull market much richer than you initially came into it. Okay? Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section down below. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.